Hey everybody, it's Eddie Joe in crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So let's really get into this. Solana is being taken to court by Mark Young. He's an investor in the organization. Let me just read off to you who he's actually listed in the lawsuit. It's Solana Labs, co-founder Anatoly Yakovenko. It's Multicoin Capital Management and its co-founder Kyle Samani and FalconX. He's alleging that they have violated several federal securities regulations at the cost of investors, to make money for themselves at the cost of investors. Solana has already got problems with their network, stability issues, reliability issues, and now to get hit with this, yeah, it'll be a while before I even think about looking at Solana. I mean, I tried doing a NFT project. I was running a test, so I did a small NFT project on the platform. Yeah, no, I'll be staying away for a long while, because that sounds pretty messy. And I don't think the news is actually hit yet, but I think as it does, as everybody else is going up right now, I think Solana is going to take a dip. So pay attention, folks. Then you have something that just rocked my world just a little while ago. Not really, because we already knew. The only crypto that SEC Chairman Gary Gensler publicly would say is a commodity is Bitcoin. And he reiterated the fact that he thinks that the SEC should work with other regulators such as the CFTC and others to regulate the cryptoverse. And I sat there and I just said, wow. He just will not give up. He won't give up. And if you think about it, he can't, right? He's got the big lawsuit with Ripple. He really can't let go. That's going to be, it's going to play out. It's going to be ugly, because literally what he's saying is, okay, CFTC, I'll give you this one, right? And we'll take everything else. You go play over there. That's not going to bode well with the CFTC. I know that for sure. That's, wow. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. That's not going to go well. Now, some big news, and I want to read this to you because it's actually huge. JPMorgan lost 3 top-tier executives. Not necessarily all the way at the top, but some top-tier executives. Let's see, Pooja Samuel, Eric Rag, I think that's how you pronounce his name. If it's not Eric, I apologize. And Samir Shah have all left the building. It's nuts because they all left for Web3 companies. One is going to, actually, I'll even read that to you. Let's see. Shah is moving over to Pantera Capital as its COO. Rag is going to, I think, Algorand. And no, Samuel is going. Is headed. He was the head of digital ideation, and digital innovation at JPMorgan. Is moving over to Algorand Foundation. That's kind of large. That's really kind of large. He will chair the investment committee. And I sit there and I just kind of go, wow, that's nuts. That says that they must have felt that JPMorgan wasn't moving fast enough in that space. Remember, it's Onyx Digital Assets, an arm of JPMorgan. JPMorgan itself is moving very slow in that, so I can see why those executives would leave. The question is, are there going to be any follow-on executives, right? Because when you're playing the game at that level, excuse me, when you're playing the game at that level, when you leave an opportunity, other people follow you. Now, they most likely have contracts that won't let them poach. But if somebody calls you and says, hey, do you have a job? That's a different story. So that's kind of a big deal. Gary Gensler, I'm still dealing with this one. I'm going to let you play over there. Just, it's cracking me up, actually. It really is cracking me up. Because I'm dying to see how that plays out. Because I keep saying, I think the SEC from the top down, and you don't have to go all the way down. I think at the top, they need some changes. I think Gary Gensler truly needs to go. I think he's making not the best moves for the organization, and not the best moves for the cryptoverse. I just think there are people out there that could do a better job. Why don't you make Crypto Mom, Hester Pierce? Why don't you make her the SEC chairman? I think she would be a far better person. It's not that I think that she loves crypto. It's the fact that I think she has a more even-keeled head about crypto, and I think she actually thinks about things before spewing out nonsense. FTX catching mad flack for trying to do this whole derivatives thing, but they're catching mad flack from traditional exchanges right now, right? So, really? I mean, would I be a fan of it? Not really. But then again, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's got a business to run, right? And it's the natural evolution for crypto exchange to start doing some of the stuff that traditional exchanges do. So yeah, working with brokers, that kind of thing. So yeah. Now the flack that he's catching is, oh, you're gonna open up retail investors to risky moves. Sit there and just kind of go, wait a minute. And the stock market doesn't already do that? Are you serious? Really? I know. I'm going to let it go. But you don't find that to be funny? Something else that this guy is really doing, SBF is, I don't think anybody's perfect, but I think he's at least trying. He's like, yeah, I think it was Reuters, he said that, hey, we do still have a few $1 billion to help bail out other companies, other projects. That's big. That's really, really big. So pay attention to what that guy's doing. I'm not a big fan of custodial situations. Obviously, FTX is a custodial situation, but he's making the right moves where others are falling down. Really. Just really, really. I told you Bitstamp wanted to charge $10 or €10, doesn't matter, 10, because they reached parity yesterday too, euro and the dollar. So they want to charge $10 for inactive accounts. FTX isn't doing that. Binance isn't doing it. That's just stupid. That means they're scrambling for money. So I'm thinking that we're going to hear something else about Bitstamp. Core Scientific is actually a very big miner. They do a lot of Bitcoin mining. They had to dump 2302, I think, Bitcoin. That's actually huge. Garnered them $107 million that they're going to use to pay down debt and buy new ASIC servers. That's great, except for one thing. They had to dump Bitcoin. That means there was a whole lot of Bitcoin that was dumped onto the market. See what I'm saying? So help to keep Bitcoin prices down. They sold. It might have been no, last month they could have done it. They sold each one for approximately $23,000, so around there. So they pretty much sold at market value. Obviously didn't sell at the peak, right? But it says a lot about the mining space. So you're gonna go out and buy new equipment. I'd like to know what that business model is, because I think there are going to be a lot of miners that are going to be hurting soon. Which means that chip makers, just look down the road. Miners are going to have a problem. NVIDIA is already seeing things go down. Why? Because there's less demand for their chips. So there's a ripple effect that happens. So you have to figure out, well, what else are these miners going to do? If they fold, they sell the equipment, whatever it is, they liquidate everything. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're going to walk away with money, so I'm not worried about that. But it does have an impact on the space in general. So that's Core Scientific. eToro. Now this is crazy. eToro platform, Israeli platform, where you can do a whole bunch of different kinds of investments, fractional investments, things like that, both in crypto and stocks and options, that kind of thing. They were supposed to go public. They were trying to go public using a SPAC. I didn't have it memorized, so I actually typed it out. Special Purpose Acquisition Company. And they were going to merge with a Special Purpose Acquisition Company, a SPAC, and go public. That fell through. Remember, they already laid off about 100 people. That's about 6% of their workforce. So yeah, this news is not going to bode well for them, like at all, because going public would have garnered both parties in that SPAC deal new cash infusion from going public. Well, that's not going to happen now. So, and there's also no kind of breakup fee because the deal was supposed to go through on the 30th. It didn't go through. That's it. So that's not looking good. And to close it out, Belgium is, everybody's waiting for the European Union. It's called the Markets in Crypto Assets, or MICA or MICA, however you want to, call that little acronym. They're waiting for the EU to finalize all that. They're not expecting for that to be finalized until 2024. So meanwhile, Belgium's like, well, cryptos have got to be regulated somehow, some way, somewhere. So we're reviewing how they should be regulated in the time, in this, for the time being. And they're looking to see if they should be regulated as securities. Are you hanging out with Gary Gensler? Seriously? But it's not to be unexpected, right? Belgium has been really tough on cryptos. Most of Europe has been tough on cryptos. So you kind of sit back and you kind of go, oh, it's not going to be well. But I think the big news today is going to be the lawsuit against Solana. And you should be playing that out in your head. Lawsuit against Solana. That's going to put huge pressure on SOL, the coin. Gary Gensler is saying that, he believes that the only commodity out there in terms of cryptocurrencies is Bitcoin. That's going to put some pressure. Maybe. I think people are tired of hearing about Gary Gensler. Really. I think that's really what the story is. At least for me. I'm tired of hearing the guy's name. He hasn't said anything smart for a long time. So, like I said, Hester Pierce would be my vote. Almost anybody else would be my vote. But Hester Pierce is especially because she is friendly toward crypto. But again, she is thoughtful and pragmatic in her approach. She thinks things through. And positive and negative, at least count on her thinking it through and at least trying to get it right. Gary Gensler just acts like he's slinging, like the Wild Wild West. I'd like to see a little bit better from him. Like to see him leave. That would be better. That's just me. And again, Kramer, dude. And I meant to say that Gary Gensler made that comment speaking with, Jim Cramer, somebody else who's a freaking crypto flip-flopper. Maybe he really does know what he's talking about when it comes to stocks. A lot of people believe that, and I've heard him say some really good things about stocks. But when it comes to crypto, he needs to shut up. He needs to shut up. He needs to go back, read some books, read news, really catch up on things, because he flip-flops on crypto all the time. He was a holder of Bitcoin, then he dumped Bitcoin to get with Ethereum. Now he's totally against crypto. And then, what was it, last night? Somebody said that he posted something, now it's crypto time. Like, what? Somebody on his crew is not in sync with what his thoughts are when he's, yapping on television. But that's something to think about. No, I'm not a fan of Kramer, but I can appreciate he's done a lot in his career. He's been successful, very successful. But in this day and age, I'm really not listening to him. I'm really not. There are lots of tools out there that can help me make better decisions, and I'm not deep into stocks. I've got what I've got. I'm really deeper into crypto and the whole cryptoverse. I think we need, people that don't know about crypto to stop spreading FUD, and unfortunately, he's one of the people that's spreading FUD. That's my take. Figure something else out. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto, and now it's time to actually get to the numbers. Give me a sec. Boop, boop. I don't want to look at that one first. I just want to take a look at the Fear and Greed Index. It's at 18, was 18 yesterday. DeFi Llama. I didn't show it yesterday, but TVL had actually popped up to 80 yesterday, and then now it's back down to 77, which is pretty cool considering it was all the way down at 70 just a couple of days ago. Bitcoin trying to make friends with about 21,000. Now, the reason why I have two of these up, one of them is, the closer you get, the better you can see what I'm talking about. The brown one right here, that's Ethereum, and the top one is Bitcoin. And the reason why I have that on there is because I wanted to show that, yes, they do move in lockstep, but I want you to pay attention to something. Ethereum's highs go higher, Ethereum's lows go lower. And you do get crisscrosses sometimes. But they're really moving pretty close to lockstep. You see right here? That's a big deal. That's kind of a big deal right there. Let me just see if I can get in. This is what I'm talking about. Ethereum is moving better than Bitcoin right now, and you can see it best on this list. Ethereum up 7.62%, Bitcoin up 4%. So yes, they enjoy the same ups and downs, but when Ethereum goes to proof of stake, I firmly believe Ethereum is going to be the better choice, which is why I'm getting deeper into Ethereum right now. I have some Bitcoin. I'm really getting deep in Ethereum because Ethereum's got this whole ecosystem, a huge ass ecosystem that's going to feed off of that. And I think that's going to be a very big deal. All right. Let's see if we can take a look at the big picture. Everything is up. Just about everything is up. But again, I'm expecting Solana to take a hit. There was some news. There was some stuff. You know, I love Polygon. Polygon is in a deal with this phone company, this new startup phone company called Nowhere, and they're coming out with a new mobile device where they're going to integrate Polygon tech directly into the phone. I don't know what that means or how it's going to play out, but I find it to be very interesting. So I'm expecting a lot more stuff to happen along the Polygon side than in others. But again, look at Solana. Solana's up. It's up almost 6%. I think it's going to take a dive because of that lawsuit. You marry that lawsuit along with, an unreliable, platform, at least to me, I feel it's unreliable. That's going to be a big deal, and I think that's going to wind up playing out for the longer term. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. If you like what I'm doing, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tells me and my kids that we're doing something right, when we share our journey with you, as well as hit the notification bell so you know when I'm actually dropping a new video. Have a great day.